right. You go on through these now because I don't want this to run too long. This, of course, was divided up again into the grid in inch squares, and I played in that just like you might, if you like, not playing from sheet music on the piano, but sitting down playing, composing something or improvising as you go along. This was just improvising on the notes that I had there, that I had drawn with squares. And the reds, the yellows, the blues, the blacks, the grays, the whites, the different notes, different keys. Oh, here's another of the all white paintings. Well, we've studied one. Let's go on. Oh, they did get in the black. Now, this is all exactly from the same tube of black, but why do they look different? The satin black, the last coat, I put quite a lot of oil in. The matte black, almost turpentine, very little oil. So you see, you get the matte and the satin, and then it makes the light that the satin captures makes it look like a different light from the other. Here is quite a change. It's so obvious to begin with. But this is no longer a straight line right through. This leans in a little bit, and that leans back. Something that I hadn't done any through the 40s. Well, that seemingly a minor thing, but it's a step. It's just a little hint of something's going to happen in the process of evolution. Okay. So, see, that tiny little slant the next year turns into this. And here again, would be white form on black form on white. Either can be form, either can be space, yes?
Have you ever did black color in the field?
Sorry?
Have you ever did black color in the field?
Yes. I have destroyed it. If I don't think a painting is first class for my work, if I don't think there's tops, I destroy it. Because I didn't want it, a lot of it. And I haven't had to destroy it. I suppose it does in my lifetime. Excuse my saying it, but I didn't have to destroy many. But if I didn't like it, I destroyed it. I didn't destroy it immediately because I will tell you a little story later on about a painting that I thought was a mistake when I finished it. And I said, well, it's a large painting. I'll stick it in the bin here, and later on when I have time, I'll take it out, tear the canvas off, put a new canvas on, do another painting. Put it in the bin, and it was a year before I walked into the studio, and I said, oh, I'll take this out today and take the canvas off and have a new canvas stretched on it. I pulled it out and put it against the wall, and I said, that's a masterpiece, one of my great paintings. Sometimes, you know, the unconscious will do something that the conscious mind hasn't caught up with. But the conscious mind doesn't understand, and it may take a while for the conscious mind to catch up with what the other faculties have produced. And I think maybe that painting is here. Okay. Now, this is getting into either 1950 or 1951 at the left of Vargas. So it's just a little step farther. Okay. This is 1953-4, and an athletic catalog had come into my studio through the mail. The illustrations in it of the football, basketball, and all the athletic equipment were pencil drawings rather than photographs. So usually, you know, that if it was really very photographic illustrations. I don't know why these were in pencil. Usually something like that I would throw out as the mail comes in. I found myself looking at this, not really conscious of the fact that, and I'd put it down on my desk or the table, and maybe the next day or a few days, I'd have that up again looking at it. I became angry for a moment. I said, what the heck am I doing this for? And the little voice in the head said, "It's what you're looking for." I just sort of heard that, you know. People say they hear voices. I really don't mean that, but how do the hints come to us? We say we hear them, but we don't really mean that. I think you all know what I'm speaking of. And so I rushed into my studio, took the compass, started drawing circles and ovals and composing in that. And this was one of the first ones that I did, and I think that came out of one of the drawings either from a tennis ball or a baseball. Now then, over the next 20 or 30 years, you'll see how that has gradually evolved into what I'm doing today. One of the first ones that I did is very similar to this, except this was black and this was gray, and a doctor in Chicago and his wife bought it right after I painted it. It's still in their collection.